Yoast SEO is a powerful free SEO plugin for WordPress that allows you to simply optimize your website for search engines like Google, Bing, and Yahoo without needing any technical SEO experience. This is an ideal tool for those that don't know where or how to get started with SEO in 2021. Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Now today we're going to dive into a Yoast SEO tutorial for beginners and help you set up and get started with Yoast SEO on your WordPress website. Okay, now before I walk you through the Yoast SEO plugin, consider subscribing if you haven't done so already or if you're new to this channel, and that way you'll stay updated with actionable videos and tutorials designed to equip you with the skills, knowledge and tools to grow your small business online. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and walk you through the WordPress plugin, Yoast SEO. Okay, so before we get started and install the Yoast SEO plugin onto our WordPress site, it's important to note that this Yoast SEO tutorial is aimed at small businesses and blogs. Now this is a beginner's tutorial where we're going to show you everything you need to know to really get started with SEO, search engine optimization, and using the tool Yoast SEO to essentially start ranking higher on search engines like Google to ultimately drive more organic traffic onto your website. Okay, so first things first, what we need to do is install the Yoast SEO plugin. Simply log into your WordPress dashboard, then navigate over to plugins and come down and click add new. Then just navigate up to search plugins and type in Yoast SEO. Then come down and locate Yoast SEO. You can see that this plugin has had over 5 million active installations. This is the plugin we want to install. Simply navigate over to install now, and then click activate. And just like that, you've installed and activated the Yoast SEO plugin. Now what we want to do is configure the setup so we can start using the Yoast SEO features for essentially optimizing our site's SEO. Just navigate down to SEO and click here. And then to simply configure the Yoast SEO plugin with our WordPress website, what we want to do is activate the configuration wizard and complete the initial setup. So to do this, simply click configuration wizard. Then come down, and what we want to do is select either option A or option B. Is your site ready to be indexed? Is your website live? Or is your site under construction and should not be indexed right now? For us, our website is live, so what we're going to do is select option A so that our WordPress website can be indexed on search engines like Google, and therefore people can now find our website online. So go ahead and select option A or option B. We're going to go ahead and keep option A selected and come down and click next. Now all these settings that we're changing now, they're not permanent and you can change them later on. So don't worry if you can't fill out some of this information that we're going to go through. You can do this later on. Okay, so what does this website represent? We're going to go ahead and select a corporation. Then come down and click next. Does your site represent a person or an organization? We're going to come down and keep organization selected, and then come down and add the name of your small business or blog. So for the purpose of this tutorial, what we're going to do is set up Yoast SEO for the small business called Syndio Media. Then what we want to do is come down here and provide an image of our business's logo. So go ahead and upload your business logo. And then once you've added your logo, navigate down the page, and this is where you want to add your social media channels for this website for this business. So if you had a Facebook business page for this business, you'd go ahead and paste the URL that takes people to the Facebook business page, and you'd add all this other information down here. If you had a Twitter handle, add that in here. Again, Instagram URL, LinkedIn, and we have other options down here if you have those social media channels. So go ahead and take the time to add these. Now you can add these later on under settings. You don't need to add them now. For the purpose of this tutorial, what we're going to do is leave these blank because this is just an example website. So for us, we're going to come down and click next. Under search engine visibility, you want to make sure that all these options are turned on to yes. Basically, you want your posts, pages, and projects to display and be indexed in search engines, essentially so people can find your content online. More importantly, make sure posts are turned on and pages, projects, unless you're using projects, doesn't really matter. However, you can leave that turned on for now and then navigate over to next. Does your site have multiple authors? Now, if you're a blogger, you have a blog site, then maybe you have multiple authors that create content on your blog. If you do, you'd select yes. If you don't, then select no. If you're a small business, most likely you only have yourself as an author, so go ahead and make sure no is selected. Again, you can change this later on, so I'm going to navigate over to next. Now for your pages and posts and the way that they display on search engines like Google, you can choose a title separator. For us, we tend to choose this option here for a title separator. For example, if we quickly head over to Google search, we can show you different title separators. Okay, so on Google search, you can see that we typed in digital marketing Tauranga, which is a keyword that we want to rank for on Google search. And as you can see, we have our website up here. And this is the title, and over here you can see the title separator. We've used this symbol over here. You can see that this competitor has used this symbol over here as a title separator. And you can see that those two symbols are the most common. So go ahead and select the symbol that works best for you. We're going to head back over to the Yoast SEO configuration and keep this title separator selected. However, you can select any of these options if you like. Then navigate over to next. Here, it's completely up to you if you want to share your information, your data on your site with Yoast SEO. Go ahead and select no or yes. I'm going to go ahead and keep no selected and then click next. And then here, if you're a complete beginner to SEO, which you probably are because you're watching this beginner's guide, then go ahead and add your email here if you want to receive interesting and up-to-date tips on how you can make the most of SEO and Yoast SEO. So if you'd like to receive valuable information to your email, go ahead and sign up. If not, come down and click next. And just like that, we've completed the initial configuration of Yoast SEO. Now what we want to do is navigate over to close, and that's going to take us back to our Yoast SEO dashboard. Now what we want to do to further complete our general settings is navigate up to dashboard, and then next to dashboard, click on features. And then under features, we have some options that we can enable or disable. However, by default, a lot of these options are already correct and we want to leave them as they are. The only option you might want to turn off is enhance Slack sharing. Now, if your organization does not use Slack, then go ahead and turn that off. We're not using Slack for this website, so we're going to go ahead and click Save Changes and leave everything else as default. Then simply navigate up to integrations once you've saved your settings. And under integrations, what we're going to do is turn these integrations off because we don't use either of these tools. If you do, you can go ahead and leave those on, but what we're going to do is turn those off and click Save Changes. And then simply navigate up to Webmaster Tools. And then under Webmaster Tools, here we have 4 search engines that we can verify with. Now for the purpose of today's tutorial, what we're going to do is focus on the Google verification code. And what this does is allows you to connect your website with Google's Search Console. And basically this allows you to measure, monitor and observe the performance of your website on Google search through the Google Search Console. So what we want to do is click Google Search Console. And this is a very simple process. All you need to do is select HTML tag, and then come down and copy this piece of code over here, and then head back over to your Yoast SEO settings, and then next to Google verification code, what you want to do is paste that code in here that you just copied earlier, and click Save Changes. Now if we head back over to our Google Search Console, we can come down and click Verify. And congratulations, just like that, you've verified your website with Google. Now what we can do is head back to our Yoast SEO settings and then head back to our Yoast SEO dashboard. Okay, so now that we've completed the configuration wizard, we've completed the configuration of our general settings, and we've connected Google Search Console, what we want to do now is navigate down to Search Appearance. We just need to check a few more settings within the search appearance before we can go ahead and start optimizing our blog posts and website pages for search engines like Google. Okay, now under general, you'll notice some important settings that we covered earlier when we completed the configuration wizard. These are the settings that we covered earlier. You can go ahead and change them here. However, we're going to leave the settings as they are. Then navigate over to content types. And below content types, we have some important settings that we need to brush on. First, we have posts over here. Below posts, we have pages. And below pages, we have projects. Basically, under content types, this allows us to enable our posts, pages, and projects to be found on Google or other search engines. And for this to happen, we need to make sure that our posts are turned on. So keep these default settings as they are. Below show posts, we have show SEO settings. Basically, this allows us to further optimize our posts with the Yoast SEO settings. And we're going to show you how to use these later on after we've covered the search appearance settings. Then down here, what we want to do is get rid of all of these except for the title. And basically by adding just title here, this is going to show the title of your post on search engines. So if someone types in a keyword related to a post and your post appears on search engines, then your SEO title is just going to be the title of your post. And this is what we recommend, just leaving title. However, you can customize this the way that you like. For example, you can insert a variable and you can select primary category or separator. You can also click site title, but we're going to leave that as it is. And once we dive into our posts and pages, you can actually customize the SEO title if you like. And then below SEO title, we have meta description. What we're going to do is leave the meta description blank and show you how to customize your meta description when we select pages or posts that we want to further optimize with Yoast SEO. And then if we scroll down and leave these settings as they are. Then if we scroll down further, we have pages. Again, we want to do the same thing with pages. So enable show pages, yes, show SEO settings, show, and then over here, what we're going to do is get rid of all of this except for title. So we just have the title variable, and then we're going to leave the meta description blank. Then again, if we scroll down, we have projects down here. What we're going to do is do the exact same as what we've done to posts and pages, and then navigate all the way down to the bottom and click Save Changes. Once you've saved your changes, navigate up to Media. And then down here, we want to make sure that redirect attachment URLs to the attachment itself is turned on to yes. Basically, this further enhances the navigation of your content when you have attachments like a PDF for people to download. Then navigate over to taxonomies. And under categories, what we want to do is show categories in search results. No, we do not want to show categories in search results. And then down here, show SEO settings for categories. Again, no, we want to hide this setting. Everything else we can leave as it is because we don't want our categories to show up in search results. We don't want too much irrelevant information in search engines for Google to crawl or other search engines. We just want our pages and posts to be visible on search engines, and we don't want to duplicate content. And that's what categories can do if you decide to show these categories in search results. You do not want duplicate content. Then come down to tags. Again, we're going to click no and then hide. Come down to formats and then click disabled, and then navigate down to project categories. We do not want to show project categories in search results, and we want to hide. Then last, we have project tags. Come down and select no and hide. And then scroll down to the bottom and click Save Changes. Remember, the focus for SEO is to drive more organic traffic to our pages and our posts. We don't want to worry about this information appearing in search engines. Then navigate up to archives and keep those disabled. You can leave everything else as they are as default. Then navigate over to breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs are not as important as they used to be. Again, leave these settings as default. Then navigate over to RSS. The same goes for RSS. Leave the settings as they are. And once you've made all your changes, navigate over to Save Changes. Then head over to social. And this is where you can go ahead and add your social media channels. Remember, we covered this at the start when we completed the configuration wizard. However, if you left those blank, you can go ahead and add them in here if you're ready. Then we have further integrations with Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. But because this is a beginner's tutorial, what we're going to do is just leave it as it is and just make sure that you've added your social media channels. Okay, so now the magic happens. This is where we can start optimizing our pages or posts for SEO, search engine optimization, with Yoast SEO. And we're going to show you how to do that. Now, the Yoast SEO process of optimizing your pages and posts is exactly the same. So what we're going to do is navigate over to Pages and click All Pages. And then come down and select the page that you want to optimize with Yoast SEO. For the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to select our home page. And because this is just a practice website for tutorials like this one, you'll notice we have no content on this page. So what I'm going to do is head over to my website and show you how Yoast SEO works on a website with content. Okay, so I'm going to quickly head over to our proper website. Okay, so for the purpose of this tutorial, I've moved away from the practice website to our small business website that we use on a daily basis to generate leads for our digital media and marketing business. Now, what we've done is selected a post that we recently published on this website rather than a website page to optimize, but the process is exactly the same. Now, if you've selected a website post or website page and it doesn't look anything like we have in front of us, then that's probably because you're using a different theme. We're using the Divi theme, and that's why our backend looks like this. Okay, so first what we want to do is navigate down the right hand side under Publish, and what you'll notice is two elements, readability and SEO. You can see that these are two green elements here. Yours might be red, orange, or you might not have any colors showing. That is because we've already optimized this post for SEO based on Yoast SEO's requirements. And what we essentially want to do with Yoast SEO is try and create our readability and turn that green, good, and SEO, good, green. So this is essentially what we want to achieve. And to do that, all you need to do is navigate down the page till you identify and find Yoast SEO. And this is where we can optimize our SEO and readability of our posts or pages. So down here you can see focus keyword. Down here we have our focus keyword, which is how to install Facebook Pixel on WordPress. This is what we call a long-tailed keyword phrase. Yours could be a single keyword. For example, it could just be web design Tauranga, and that could be a focus keyword, or it could be any keyword related to your post or to your website page. I hope that makes sense. Keyword research is a big part of SEO. If you want to learn more about keyword research, what we'll do is link a beginner's SEO tutorial up above that will take you through the process of getting started with SEO. And after you've added your keyword phrase, scroll down under Google Preview. This is where you can preview your website title and description, so meta title and meta description, as a mobile result or a desktop result. So at the moment we've got mobile results selected. This is how this particular post on my website will appear in search engines on mobile. If I select desktop, this is how my post will appear on search engines when someone searches on desktop. You can see my meta title up here and then my meta description below that. Now, if we scroll down further, you can see our SEO title, which has our long-tailed keyword phrase. So you essentially want to make sure that your SEO title has your keyword phrase, your primary keyword phrase in it. And then below that we have the slug. Now your slug is essentially how your URL will appear on search engines. For example, if we navigate back up to preview as, you can see our website name here. Next to that we have how to install Facebook Pixel on WordPress. Now that is the slug we've added. The reason we've done that is because this includes our keyword phrase. Essentially, you want to optimize your content, optimize your title tag and your description with your identified keyword or keyword phrase. And below the slug, we have our meta description, which we typed out. Now, every time you've created a post, you can go ahead and create your meta description and your SEO title. Again, you want to make sure that you add your keyword into your meta description. You can see up here in our meta description, the preview, we have install Facebook Pixel on WordPress. This is part of our identified keyword phrase. And then if we navigate down past meta description and click on SEO analysis and scroll down, we can see our analysis results for SEO. You can see that we have 3 problems that we need to change. And then below that, we've got 11 good results. These are things that we've done well in our content with our keyword. Now, if you have any issues like we do up here, you don't have to complete all of them. You don't have to make sure they're all green. You just want to make sure that the majority of your results are green in order to get this little green smiley face or green tick. You can see that I don't have any internal links on this page, so what I'll do is add internal links to other pages on my website. And you can see that my keyword phrase density is very low. The focus keyword was found only 2 times. What I'd want to do is have a minimum of 3 times. So you get suggestions to what you need to fix in order to improve your SEO based on Yoast SEO's requirements. It's very straightforward, so once you've created content, you will see the issues and the positives that you have going on with your page in regards to SEO. So as you can see, it's very straightforward, and Yoast SEO will guide you through any issues that you have by giving you recommendations and suggestions. Now, if we scroll back up to the top, the next bit is readability. So we've just talked about SEO. Remember, you want to make sure that you have your keyword phrase embedded throughout your content. You want to make sure that you've structured your title tag and description with keywords related to your post or website page if you're optimizing a website page. So if we navigate up to readability, again, you can see the readability analysis results similar to SEO. These are based on your content. For example, paragraph length, none of the paragraphs are too long, great job. Sentence length, great. Transition words, well done. So you can see your recommendations and see everything that you've done correctly. So ideally you want to have green, green. Again, on the right hand side, you can see readability is good and SEO is good. That is the goal, to create 2 greens on each of your posts or pages. Now, if you're not too sure how to correct one of the recommendations, for example, if we navigate back over to SEO and scroll down to these red problems, if, for example, you didn't know what key phrase density is and you don't understand the bit of text that goes along with it, then simply click on the underlined problem, and that will take you to Yoast SEO's website. And this is where you can learn more about the particular problem that you're not sure about. So all the information you ever need to learn more about Yoast SEO is on the Yoast SEO blog. However, that is everything we wanted to cover in today's beginner's tutorial to help you set up and get started with Yoast SEO so you can start generating more organic traffic to your website, to your posts and pages. So take the time to optimize your content with Yoast SEO and you'll start ranking and generating more traffic in no time. And that is it, guys, for today's complete Yoast SEO tutorial for beginners. Now, if you have any questions about this tutorial, make sure to pop them down below. And with that said, thank you so much for watching this tutorial all the way through to the end. If you got value, make sure you leave a like below this video and subscribe to the channel. And that way I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.